Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Bob Trevino Likes It. The story of a very lonely woman whose father kind of abandons her and she gets a new father on the internet. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 16, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So the basic premise of the film is kind of what I said. I mean, this young woman, her father's kind of an a-hole, wants her to pay him back for everything he's ever given her, including the baby food. I mean, that's pretty crazy and autistic, if you ask me. And essentially he dumps her as a daughter, and she gets kind of bummed out, goes on the internet, and nobody talks to her. But a guy with the same exact name, played by John Leguizamo, befriends her on the internet. And I think this takes place a few years ago. And so he ends up becoming her de facto father figure. And so it's about their friendship. And that's about it, really. It's the kind of plot that really only happens in movies. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, it says based on a true story. I'm sure something similar happened in real life or whatever, but it's the kind of movie that really only, the kind of plot that really only works in the movies. So, and I guess it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's sort of funny. I don't like the music in it. So here she goes to a therapist and tells her sad story, and the therapist cries. And then she apologizes. And she's just sort of a internal optimist and doesn't know things, so she goes to the internet. And it says it's a true story. I sure it's something like this happened. So the other Bob Trevino just is nice to her, basically, and helps her out and becomes her sort of adopted dad. So this is from the studio that did Peanut Butter Falcon, if you remember that movie. I guess. I don't know. I don't find these movies compelling. But because I feel like, sure, this probably happened, but this movie's probably way over dramatizes it. But first act, her father breaks up after showing her this list of all the things he did for her, which is bizarre. So the father's messed up, it sounds like to me. So the daughter tries to reconnect with him, but in the process of trying to get a hold of him online, she discovers a different Bob Trevino with the same name as her dad, and they become friends. So, again, I think this takes place in the earlier days of Facebook, when something like this wouldn't have appeared to be too wacky. These days, something like this would be like, what's going on? So they become friends in real life. So the second act is about their friendship. He helps her, and then surprisingly, she helps him, and but you know, they're just friends. And people question it, but it's all good. It's all pure and innocent. And then she's trying to deal with her problems, trying to reconnect with her dad, but then she starts thinking, well, maybe I don't need my dad. I have this new Bob Trevino. And then she learns about him, and he and his wife tried to have kids, but they lost a kid, so she becomes like their de facto kid. But I'm sure by the top of the second act, they get into some sort of argument, or the dad comes back into her life, and then she has to choose which dad she really wants. And she tells the therapist, and the therapist cries. I'm not sure the ending, so could be a lot of different things. It probably ends with her coming to some sort of realization that she's an okay person and that it's okay to sort of pick your family if your family's all screwed up. I guess. I don't know. It's a weird message, a weird situation. Let's see. Bob Trevino likes it. Made it last year. Here's the write-up. When a lonely 20-something Lily Trevino accidentally befriends a stranger online who shares the same name as her own self-centered father, encouragement and support from this new Bob Trevino could change her life, inspired by a true story, written and directed by Tracy Lehman. I guess. I mean, it's a PG-13 movie, so I guess it's meant to be kind of a light comedy, sort of semi-inspirational. A little too tame, a little too vanilla for me in my comedy. I wouldn't watch it, but I could see people liking it. At least it's a positive story, I'll say that. I don't like John Leguizamo. He seems like kind of an a-hole in real life, so that he's playing such a nice guy in this kind of seems like the wrong casting choice, if you ask me, but sure. And it just doesn't seem that entertaining an idea, but if you like these kinds of movies, maybe you'll like it. It's called Bob Trevino Likes It. And it probably could have been a really great screwball comedy, but it's sort of this. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos, the spicier videos we can't post here. I will be at the I Heart Horror Convention. That's Groundhogzilla over at Sayreville on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Should be a cool day of paranormal, cryptids, and horror, and a zombie wedding. So come on out. Hope to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow.